righty. Can I share screen?
Let me make sure. Yes.
Okay. 1 second here. Can you see?
Yes.
Whew, not my strong point. All righty. So thank you for asking me to speak today. And today you get the raw part of my speech and pictures. And I didn't put my car in here, but yes, I just got my dream car, a Jeep, a brand new white Jeep. I've always wanted one. So, and our kids are, when you see them, this will make sense. They're 37, 36, 35, 33, and 32. So they've grown up definitely with the business. All righty, so face everything and rise. So in November of 2019, we lost our title of executive director. So in early December of that year, I started planning for the new year, 2020. And I knew I wanted to get us back to an executive team as soon as possible. And I could have bailed. I could have gone below the line. I could have blamed the lack of success on others, but at the end of the day, it was me. I owned where we were, and I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do to have that personal, consistent growth. So my goal was to get back up and assess what needed to be changed and then promote to an executive team again. So it started with me and my belief and enhance systems to grow our team and to empower others. So I felt I needed to find a word, and my word to help me stay focused for the year on my goals for 2020. And the word I landed on was rise. So I picked this word because whatever came my way, I wanted to rise above it. And I think we'd all agree that in this business and in life, there are peaks and there's valleys. So rise seemed to be the right word and fit the bill. And it turned out that my word carried me through the year in ways that I never, ever could have expected. So the pandemic was a challenge for this 95% cooking consultant, but my faith and outlook were tested as soon as the year began. So just 10 days into the new year, the same day I was hosting a director retreat, just like you guys are doing, to start the year, I received a call from my doctor, and he was telling me that the mammogram and biopsy I had showed that I had breast cancer. So I got the grandkids ready with their guama pillows and moonlight path on them, just in case of what was to happen. So as many of you know that have had cancer or anything else stunningly unexpected, you know what it's like to go through these emotional cycles of change. And we talked about these earlier yesterday. So I was in phase one. I was in uninformed optimism. I had to rise above it, be optimistic, but I just didn't really know everything or exactly how I was going to rise yet. And soon I was becoming more informed from other pink sisters and definitely switched to phase two, the informed pessimism. So for my family, I needed to carry my part of the finances, especially with all these bills I knew that were going to be piling up after my surgery. This was my job. And we are also sole caregivers for our 37-year-old son who requires total care due to his disabilities. He's at about a 2-year level. The weight of this and of all the what if thoughts were really, really heavy. So on February 20th, the day before my double mastectomy, I held my last in-person live party for the year. Who would have thought? When I arrived home late that night, my family of 5 kids, their spouses, my husband Dave, were all waiting for me with a private themed boob voyage party with the cake and the banners and more. I bet you were all just wondering what that cake looked like, right? It was just like them to team up and fight this as a family, really working together and fighting together. And they always have humor, always. So the next day, I flattened the curve with my first surgery. So during recovery at home, my daughter remembers me saying, if I cannot even wipe the counter with a rag, how am I ever going to use my Pampered Chef tools at my parties? So my progress was measured by using our tools, you know, the can opener and the citrus press and the manual food processor, the garlic press, anything that I had to lift or squeeze. And I had no feeling under my arms at all. I couldn't even dress myself. And here my kids are putting my binders on. It's quite hilarious. Had to be there, I guess. And any progress I had made, which was limited, was soon erased with my second surgery a few weeks later, removing 23 more lymph nodes. They had detected more cancer during my first surgery. And that weekend, I started to get all of these messages, hundreds of them, of everybody praying across the country of negative nodes. And soon the world started to shut down, and I was slipping into the valley of despair, which is phase 3. COVID was hitting. So prior to my surgeries, I thought I would be spending my days recuperating while watching Hallmark movies, laying in my bed. But instead, I was just thinking and soul searching and reflecting on my career and how well I really was leading our team. And my thoughts went from, how will I ever start to work while I have no strength, to how am I ever going to lift our son Andy up and take care of him again? And now I got cancer during a pandemic, and Pampered Chef went totally virtual. And I was not totally virtual at all. I was just dabbling. So I actually benefited from being forced into learning a new type of way to make my living, all while accommodating all of my limitations. So my goal was to survive and then come back stronger in my business. And watching others promote so quickly during this time created those moments of self-doubt, but I had to really stop comparing myself to others. How was I going to move forward with that limited knowledge of virtual parties is what I kept thinking, but I found support, systems, and people were helping me power through. And then my friend Karen Smith, a PC sister from North Carolina, flew to Wisconsin, and she helped tackle my medical needs, helped our family out, lifted my spirits, but she also sat down with me and taught me the virtual process. And she encouraged me. And most important, she was holding me accountable. And let me tell you, she held me accountable. Did you make your 20 calls? Did you write them down? Did you follow up? And then I had another setback. Our neighbor was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she was diagnosed months after me, and she passed away. And I recall my daughter's response saying to me, I know God has placed another challenge in front of my mom to help others. And just reflecting on that moment, I stopped dwelling on and stopped allowing self-doubt to creep back in me. It was up to me to confidently lead and re-promote our executive team and to focus on life and on others. I kept thinking, if I can approach cancer with confidence and determination, why cannot I approach my business the same way? When we allow that doubt into our lives, we really allow ourselves to sabotage our own future and the future of others. And there were others who were dependent on me, and the team was so much bigger than me. Since I couldn't control cancer or COVID or inventory or shipping delays or running out of products now, I decided to focus on the things I could control by serving others and bringing joy to others with what I have to offer and helping others achieve their dreams and their goals. And as a result, I forged ahead, implementing our team's success strategies and then director bound. And the team promoted others because we had built that confidence with what we all had in place. So we promoted to an executive team on August 1st with hashtag actually we can. And later in the year, I also personally reached the career milestone of 200 qualified recruits and earned the incentive trip. You know, we need to step in and face whatever is holding us back, because without commitment, it is really hard to achieve your goals. You have to ask, is it that fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, the fear of success? Is it that belief in you or the business? You have to have it right inside of you to rise. And maybe it's a sickness that's holding you back, or is it an attitude, or is it a circumstance? Behind every obstacle is a lesson and an opportunity to grow. So deciding to choose above the line is not living in a world of rainbows and unicorns. It's really a decision to rise above. I bet each one of you does not have a basket of knitted knockers or prosthesis breasts that were gifted to me from consultants and directors across the country in Pampered Chef. It's amazing. I look back at 2020 now and I see all the changes, so many changes in my life, but through digging deep and rising above the line, I see the blessings, and I consider myself almost 1 year cancer free. I saw this plan laid out so clearly for me because I believed and I had faith and I walked this journey with others. Our, our company is so full of courageous stories, and you have heard some of them in the last 2 days. The only difference is many of these people took these opportunities to grow and turn their circumstances into opportunities. No one's life is perfect, but your imperfections do not define who you are. What defines you is how you handle your life every single day. So make those hard decisions. My parents taught me to always be the best version of myself. And no matter what life throws at you, you create these communities around yourself. So Roy T. Bennett says, you learn something valuable from all of the significant events and people, but you never touch your true potential until you challenge yourself to go beyond imposed limitations. So the question really isn't who's going to let you rise. The question is, who's going to stop you from rising? You know, God is saying to you today, I know you're going through a difficult time in your life right now, and you are dealing with multiple circumstances and a lot of emotional pain. It seems as though before you can get through one thing, another thing happens. I don't always calm the storm around you. Sometimes I calm the storm raging in you. Do not faint. I am strengthening you in areas that you cannot even see right now. You and I will get through this together, like we always do. Everything will be all right.
Thank you so much, Claire.
You are welcome.
Guys. I told you you were in for an amazing story, and she shared it even better, I think, than you did on the executive seminar. That was amazing, Claire.
Thank you.
Just so inspiring. I mean, so many obstacles and so many things that could have given her a reason to just give up, right? And just say, you know what, this is too hard. And I just can't do this right now with everything else that I have going on. But instead, she chose to rise above all the things, and just making it so much more inspiring for the rest of us. So we thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for asking.
We're going to take a break. We just have just a little bit of time before our next. So if everybody could be back on at 3:25, that gives you guys about 7 minutes to go grab a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and we'll come back on at 3:25. Okay. See you guys then. Play some music.
John, did you want to stop the recording?
I think